We are one. We are one.
Immortal. Yeah. Came out the portal, immortal into a human body. I've been existing way before the earth had Anunnakis. Intergalactical battles, intergalactical travels, infinitely going through stars. The universe will unravel all of its secrets, peep it. I'm starting to leak it. Time for truth is coming 100, it's time to seek it. Expanding my perception through the spectrum of light. I'm going in with spectrum and the shit's out of sight. We indigo children, yeah, we building frequencies through the ceiling. Penetrating through reality, a marvelous feeling. Regardless, we're healing these humans that be claiming we demonic. The resonance goes over their heads, we super cosmic. Your logic is ignorance mixed with fear in your thinking. My pineal gland is flooded, son, that shit don't be blinking. Sinking into your subconscious like a song with no words. The way I come up with these symbols of letters is absurd. Hey yo, my rhymes are like angelic beings. That shit is freeing, so pure that if you were born blind, I'll have you seeing. Breathing in a multi-dimensional light so captivating. Double helix is nonsense, so what I'm activating. Feel the power from within, seeping right through my skin. From the earth into my feet as it goes up to my chin. It got me grinning, rotation like spirals, my music spinning. I told you that I don't be playing, still I'm always winning. Fibonacci to the haters, curve them right to the side. They don't understand the energy, it comes from inside. So inside is what I master, used to be a disaster. Now I'm gladly elevating to a whole new chapter. Yeah, I'm giving birth to a whole new style. I incarnated through New York, yeah, I rep Long Isle. Don't get it twisted though, I'm truly repping this earth. I came to free all these humans and show you all what you're worth. Immortal. Yeah, raising your frequencies one soul at a time. As I pass this mic to my boy Spectrum, yo Spectrum, light that up, kid.
They tried to tell me I'm mortal, I told them I was immortal. They asked me what makes me different, I asked them what makes you normal. I just followed my morals and I unfollowed the formal. Hopped on a track with crews, now we straight cruising through portals. I download the Metatron, I'm reversing it till I'm dead and gone. If you think I'm dope, then you said it wrong. Not trying to flex, but I'm hella strong. Mine did things you never seen. When I say mine, you know what I mean. I'm the most when I'm in my mode, and y'all average is like the mean. I really didn't mean to go intervene. I'm the middleman, chilling in between. You should do the math, we ain't keeping score. But I just hit a 3.14. I cook it up, make it look easy as pie. I'm moving in silence and seeing the sign. I am the G. If you remove me, all you gon' see is your sins. This is a big game of sins. The simulation is breaking again. I'm taking control, creating my soul. And if the truth fits, I'm breaking it in. Breaking it. All I really know is that I'll never know. I've been here for forever, don't know when to go. I think that indicates that I'm an indigo. In that case, I'm in the go. Green light, my heart, chakra booming. Solar plexus, Lexus zooming. You assuming that I'm human. I'm just being what you doing. I've been teaching teachers frequently. It's apparent I'm a parent when it comes to raising frequencies. The way I'm living life, I haven't rest in peace recently. Immortal with my technique, but my ego dying easily. Death is teasing me by leaving me with DMT. Now it seems to me that everything I see is seeing me. Life is just an infinite circle with a twist. I used to wanna be like them, now they do not exist.
Immortal.
Open your mic. Yeah, no one can hear you. Open your mic.
Oh, my
Go back to the
apologies. Let me
beginning.
go back. Let me go
It's
back.
okay.
I've been talking and talking and talking. My apologies, y'all. Okay. So we are currently uniting for this Melanin Frequency Vigil. We are currently on act number 48 of the 52. And we have been transmitting this frequency since the fall equinox of 2019. And of course, you're going to tune in right here on YouTube on the Melanated Immortals. And we come together every Sunday or daily at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are currently in the year of divine unity, where we embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. Ashe. I am your hostess for this evening. I am Ken 141. Yeah, I am the red spectral dragon, and my affirmation reads, I dissolve in order to nurture, releasing being. I seal the input of birth with the spectral tone of liberation, and I am guided by my own power doubles. Ashe, ashe, and ashe-ho. All right, we are Mimic, Melanated Immortals, making evolutionary changes, and our mission is to shift the global consciousness of the melanin dominant population and establish an everlasting legacy of divine frequency beings with immortal health and immortal wealth through the application and remembrance of cosmic knowledge. We are currently in the yellow star wave spell, which is the finisher of this cycle and this 260 sacred cycle. We are currently on can number 257, which is the red planetary earth. And the affirmation for this energy or this Kenergy reads, I perfect in order to evolve, producing synchronicity. I seal the matrix of navigation with the planetary tone of manifestation. I am guided by the power of life force. We perfect in order to evolve, producing synchronicity. We seal the matrix of navigation with the planetary tone of manifestation. We are guided by the power of life force. You perfect in order to evolve, producing synchronicity. You seal the matrix of navigation with the planetary tone of manifestation. You are guided by the power of life force. Ashe, ashe, and ashe-o. All right, we are going to move along into the announcements. I am going to mute and I will be back after the announcements. Thank you all for joining us in this space as we shift this global consciousness. Peace and love.
Today, daily acknowledges the act of God empowering me to breathe. Alive I am today represents more time to live, move, and have my being. Amazing I am shows the wonders of light shining on my face. Healed from afflictions, distractions, and manipulations of this world. Strong I am today as the sun shines, wind blows and rain falls, reminding me to stand each test time. Wise as I am today to see the truth at face value and walk with confidence, knowing.
Heptats of weed, deadly supplies. Heptats of weed, deadly supplies.
All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed those announcements and took some notes and got yourself registered into something, because our greatest investment is in ourselves, Ashe. Not only do we have the current 52 acts of unity that will be restarting in the next cycle, we have the children's acts of unity, also the journals that are available for the adults and the children's. And stay tuned, because we're entering a new cycle, and so we will be restarting, and so just get yourselves ready for the next 52. You should be downstairs. And coming up this coming Wednesday, August the 26th, of course, again, we are entering into the new galactic spin. So every 260 plasmas, we come together and we have a 260 galactic kin meditation that is hosted by Nebta Harka Kanishkawak and High Priestess and Baba Wanik Kimi Tahuti Shabazz. And so you don't want to miss that. You can sign up for, I'm trying to get this thing off this. Okay, there we go. You can sign up for the meditation and register at synchronistichuman.com/260kin meditation. And again, it is coming this Wednesday, August the 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You do not want to miss these powerful sessions. We also have the Wet Sacred Bundle packages. You can go online at melanatedimmortals.com and go to the store, and you will notice the different packages that you were able to select. And so you have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. Okay. And whichever tier it is, it comes with a quart yoga mat. They're infused with sutras, womb sutras. And so you don't want to miss out on that powerful information that is available along with that frequency, okay? And another attribute that we have in the Meta Shop is we have the crystals, the necklaces, the jewelry from Orisha Stone, aka Sky Serpent. And when I tell you this stuff is powerful, it is powerful. Okay, so make sure you go in and look around and check out something. Again, like I said, our greatest investments are in ourselves. So make sure we're getting ourselves right on purpose, in purpose, right? And so I have the pleasure of bringing up our visionary leader. She is a spiritual guide, an extraordinary teacher. She is a harmonizing inspirer, a committed mother, a powerful goddess, a soulful healer, our very own High Priestess Maat in Maakheru Amen.
Maakheru Amen. Maakheru Amen. The High Priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. Maakheru Amen. The High Priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. It's time we come together to raise our consciousness. Maakheru Amen. The High Priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. Maakheru Amen. Maakheru Amen. The High Priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. Maakheru Amen. It's time we come together to raise our consciousness.
All right, greetings, 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 greetings. Am I being heard? I think I am. All right, all right. I guess I am. All right. So welcome, welcome again. Good evening. Okay, is it choppy? Ooh, I'm choppy. Okay. Okay, let me calm down. I did sound check. I was good. But I'm gonna give it a moment here, and I'm going to come in on my phone. Just give me one moment. Okay. One moment. Okay. I swear we did sound check. It was good. Okay. All right, I'm gonna mute this, and then I'm coming in on my phone. All right. Uh-oh. Okay. What about now? How is it? Am I good? All right, just let me know. Okay, perfect. All right, give thanks, and welcome, welcome, welcome again, everyone, to the Melanin Frequency Vigil, the Acts of Unity. And yes, very excited to be here this evening. Thank you so much, Sister Yakin 141, for being our hostess here this evening. I was just hanging out with her yesterday, and we did one of the pull-ups at the UNIA convention, where we did our first activation of our melanated mother code, and it was, I don't know, it was awesome. I was telling Sister Ya that all throughout the day, I kept being pulled in and out of trance, going to different places and spaces. And she said, yeah, she said she was hot. And there were, other women that gave feedback on it. And we're going to keep that going. We're going to keep that going. Again, we're just going from location to location. Again, I'm not going to explain a lot online. Just holla at me and let us let us come through to your location, and we're going to get this melanated mother code in our conscious minds. It's always been with us, it's always with us, and we're just going to consciously use it. So yep, coming through Philly. I'll be at Philly on the next strong end, so we'll be doing it there. And then sometime in between there, we're going to do Georgia, and when we do the convergence. And then I am going to have something here in the Washington D.C. area. So I know y'all have been asking for that. Definitely shout me out. I got a park right up the street, so we might just go ahead and go on up the street and do what we need to do. So we're definitely going to be doing it in the Washington D.C. area pretty soon. So y'all stay on me, please. D.C., where y'all at? Where y'all at? DMV, right? Stay on me, right? Okay. All right, let's get into it. On the last session, we had Dr. Kia Pruitt up. It was definitely an honor to have her, and I'll be on her show on Wednesday, 6 p.m. So definitely keep supporting her channel and everything that she talks about. She's talking about the return of the wealth, and there's always something there, steps and how to get started, and there's just a lot of information there. So definitely tap into her channel. We got to also shout out young elder. He came the uh, the session before that, and really turned it out. These you're going to see they're coming back. They coming back, right? Because we're about to cycle back again into these 52 energy frequencies, and so we're going to bring them back. Along with we got to shout out Doctah B Sirius. He came through, right? And we are still we are going to get Mama Myrah Moss in here as well, right? And of course, we got to shout out Orisha Stone. He's who made all these connections for us. And then if we shout out Orisha Stone, we got to shout out Mama OJ Yemi because she's the one who got us connected with Orisha Stone. So, gratitude all around, all around. All right. What is it? Teamwork makes the dream work, right? And so, that's what's up. All right. So on this last, we had Dr. Kia and I, we were talking about a few things, right? Relationships. We were talking about family matters, and we were talking about business matters and things like that. And so this frequency was about how our Black love is so strong that we only form sacred unions and produce sacred offspring. And that is that's something that's a long conversation. It's just not just a something that you talk about just one time, because in order to make something sacred, right, we know the word dedicate literally is a derivative of the word sacred. When you're dedicated to something, you make it sacred. So I love the story she told about how she was so dedicated to her relationship that she made sure she had a sacred union. It was so strong, that love was so strong that she kept with her sacred union, and they produced sacred offspring, even if they didn't come directly from her, right? So that was a pretty awesome story. If you haven't heard about it, definitely get the replay on that. Right? We as the act of unity, right? We didn't talk about that so much, but of course, if you have the journal and you're following this journal, right? It talks about making sure that this journey that we're taking with these acts of unity, right, aligns, your intentions are aligned with it. That's how you keep it in your heart. That's how you become loyal to it. That's how you love it. And when you are loyal and you love something, you're going to make it sacred. Here's the closest thing to it, and every parent knows this, or even if you don't have children, you know it about, how you feel about, you're a sibling or someone very close in your bloodline, right? But as a parent, you're dedicated like that to your children, right? You don't give up on them. You're dedicated. And so that your purpose and your mission on this planet, that's the feeling that you have in your heart about it. And it's not in conflict with your children, your relationship, your, or whatever. We don't have to operate in conflict with anything. It's just that you can tell how dedicated you are by how you feel about those things. So you want to make sure that those that your intentions are aligned sacredly, right? It says here to develop a list of 3 actions and commitments that could benefit from additional care, attention, or seriousness, right? I like to talk about this. I say this, I've said this a few times when I was talking about, us being part-time gods, right? Sometimes it's part-time. Why? Because we're so busy. We're so busy with work. We're so busy with children. We're so busy with responsibilities. We're so busy going and doing and buzzing and, all of those things. So our purpose becomes like a hobby. Even though we know deep in our heart, we're dedicated to it. That's what we want to do, but we feel like we can't do it. Why? Right? We gonna go to the consciousness of lack, of danger, of war, of conflict, right? Deficit, defense. And so those things become our obstacles. And so we just keep pushing back, right? So we, in this act of unity, is literally talking about really going in deep. Why haven't you been able to just focus? And here's the thing, even if those things seem overwhelming, right? Like, let's say money, right? Let's say you're a single parent, right? And it's overwhelming. Like you ain't got time to do nothing but go to work and eat dinner with your children for 25 minutes and then get them ready to get up and go do it again. And that's your life, right? So even if it is, and it doesn't seem like there is any way for you to not have that, right? Still write it down and say, well, why can't I do it? Well, because I'm on this clock. I'm on this wheel, and the wheel keeps turning and turning and turning. They got to go to school. They got to eat. And I do my best to make sure I eat with them at least once or twice. And then I got to take them to this, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. Right? Write all that stuff down. Don't do it with judgment. Say, ain't no way this is going to change. You might be surprised. When you really put the intention and the dedication behind it, right? And so that's what it says to do, to reflect on those responsibilities or projects that you're taking on that you feel overwhelming and unmanageable at this time, right? Nothing in there says you need to solve it. It said write it down. Take some time and really look at it, because sometimes when you can look at it from that viewpoint, you can say, oh man, look at this. I didn't even notice. Right? You may notice something that you just been doing a certain way that you don't have to do that way. You may notice that you've been thinking about something in just this one way. And if you thought about it another way, you could, oh wow. That's been my hang up. I thought I had a miscalculation there. I said, if this, then that. But if I remove that equation, then I got some more options here. I have more opportunities, right? And so also you can help if you can restore the balance with your unity partners. So this is part of that frequency wave. Now, I want to say this: if you have not been meeting with your unity partners, if you have not been doing these active unity, this is the thing. You can always get back into alignment. It just takes what we're talking about here, forming a sacred union. When you form those unity partners, did you think of partnerships? Did you think about it as a sacred union? Producing sacred offspring. Now, maybe something else developed out of it, right? Maybe something else developed out of it. And one of the things that we did to maybe help support the unity partners is every Saturday at 8:30. We just get together. We have a community unity call. It's only 30 minutes. And we get together and just talk about these acts of unity. Keeps it in our hearts and our minds. It could be something real simple, right? Keeps you dedicated. It's not taking up all your time and energy and stuff like that. You can roll over in the bed and be on, turn to the side, still have the covers up. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, right? So that's something to look at. That's something to look at. So, yeah, put the team, bring the band back together. I know if we on mission 47, but we got, what is that? 5 more, right? Or 4 more. I can't count. Okay. 5 5 before we get into this last one. So there's always time and space and energy when you are dedicated and you believe that union is sacred. Put your unity groups back together, but do it in a way where you can remain committed to it. Right? It could be something. That's what the priesthood did. It was just kind of organic. Right? We still keep our group together. We've been going strong. Right? We have to be the example, but there has been a natural leveling off, but we are still committed. We always come together on our unity call. Right? We still are in the chat. We may not be like we were with the first, 20 or so, but we in there. Because it was a sacred enough union for us to remain dedicated. And then say, hey, let's stretch it out to the community and say, hey, listen, yeah, we here, right? So that's something to think about. All right. So I want to talking about that, right? Talking about this community. We do have coming up to Bolshatalet. That's going to be Thursday. This is going to be the second one. I really love this because this is all about that sound vibration. I was just telling Priestess Maat yesterday after we did the activation, the womb activation, the melanated mother code, that this is a great way to keep that frequency going, for it to remain sacred, for us to remain dedicated to it. It's through sound vibration. It's because just like it was hard for me to articulate what happened during that activation, but even when I was there, I just started humming it. Ain't no words. Right. So definitely you want to come and check this out on Thursday, August 27th from 7 to 8 p.m. It's about sound vibrations. Right. And what we did is we said, we want you to come about 10 to 15 minutes early, get your camera together, get your sounds together, so that all of that can happen before 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, boom. Right? The person who is supposed to start the sound vibration, I think we have a lunar tone that's going to do it. That's it. That's all that's going to happen. Right? So definitely you want to come check it out. You can email Yogini9 at melanatedimmortals.com or text 404-803-4726. All right. Let's talk about the melanin frequency. This is another way. We started that humming last year at the melanin frequency. Wasn't no words. Right? We did, man, how long was that session? We still have the recording. I think that session it seemed like we was out there for about 2 hours humming. It didn't feel like it. I told somebody I lost time. that evening. I just remember coming out there, and then we had the fire, and we had the lady in the fire, and it was all kinds of stuff, and I lost time. right? But it was an awesome, awesome experience, paradigm shifting, right? So it's going to even be more this time. So definitely you want to come through, right? 8th annual Melanin Frequency Convergence, right? And so this is where we magnetize, unify, and transmit the melanin frequency for the betterment of dominant people worldwide during the fall equinox. We use the energy of the earth to transmit all 52 frequencies and to bring in the not only the fall equinox, but also the new frequency for the new melanin frequency theme for the year. And we would love to have you guys come through. We're going to be in the Blue Ridge Mountains again. You want to go to melaninimmortals.com, go to our events page, and to get additional details, it's $222. It includes your lodging and your food. And it's always a very nice space. And the food is off the charts. We got our very own Thought Seeker Ken 221 and Mama Moot Tayo Satiji. They do the food for us, and it is awesome, right? They farm it. Farm is like farm to table, the majority of it, right? So you definitely want to come in and join in on that. Also, if you are interested in doing more, if you're interested in coming in and being a part of our membership, the memberships include our classes and some services. So definitely you want to go and check it out. I'm not going to go through all of these right here. But I do encourage you to go to the website and hit the membership button, and you will learn all about these memberships and see how deep of a discount you're getting. Some of them include brain balancing and classes, right? And then like if you're interested in taking multiple classes or just about everything we got, we have the all inclusive, right? So definitely check that out. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. We are now on this mission or this frequency wave number 48 that says, as legacy holders of our families, we authorize the exorcism of all unnatural causes of dis-ease and traumas. As the legacy holders of our families, we authorize the exorcism of all unnatural causes of dis-ease and traumas. One more time for the people in the back. As the legacy holders of our families, we authorize the exorcism of all unnatural causes of dis-ease and traumas. Ashe, ashe, and ashe-o. Now, this definitely falls in alignment with frequency wave number 47, right? Where we're so dedicated, our Black love is so strong that we only form sacred unions and have sacred offspring. Now, once we declare that, right? We know that there is this program, there's Matrix, there's reptilians, there's, nanomites, there's, all kinds of diabolical stuff that's happening in this world, known and unknown, right? But as we have gone through these last 47 frequencies, and they've covered a variety of topics. And this year, not only have we discussed and remained vigilant in these frequencies, we've also accompanied them with acts of unity. So once we get here, if you're just seeing this for the first time, you're saying, well, shoot, well, a legacy holder, what's that? But we already know what legacy are we holding? Well, it's multi-dimensional legacies that we're holding, right? The first one being a divine reflection of source, knowing that that's our species. And that species, when it slows itself down so it can feel itself in the third dimension, it comes in as a human. So that's the first legacy that we holding on to. And when we decide as the Most High that we're going to come into this third dimension, we're coming in here with a purpose, an incarnation cycle. And so when we come in with this purpose, we determine, okay, we know that this has been a place of forgetfulness, at least in this last period. But now we have our awakening. And so we're going to now become and we already know because we done left clues. They digging up all kinds of shit in the ocean and in the, you know what I'm saying? All kinds of stuff. It's probably going to be stuff coming out of the clouds. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But we're a continuation of that legacy. So we are the legacy holders because we are awakened to this. It's multidimensional. We are also, there is so much information now. I remember as a child, just going to school and everything. Everybody that I knew talked about how they had an Indian in their family, right? And especially those who, if they had long wavy hair and all of that stuff, they would say they had an Indian in their family. Well, now we know why everybody was saying that. Why everybody got that picture of their great great grandmother, their great grandfather. That's that, that black and white picture, and they got long hair and they said ponytails, or you know what I'm saying? That's why. Because this is also our legacy in North America. We were already here. That makes us legacy holders as well. Right? And the discovery and the covering of maybe this was the Nile Valley. Maybe some of the ancient stories and things were told were about it was over here too, right? In addition to, there's no conflict. No fight. It's not a fight, it's a frequency. Right? As the matriarch, then the information about the matriarch is starting to be uncovered. We're also taking position and remembering what that is, the legacy of the mother. Not to replace, not instead of, but in addition to. And we have the full authority to, if that is the formation that we have come into, then we have the full authority to activate that melanated mother code. We are the legacy holders. So as we build that up, what does that give us? Authority, priority, and seniority over our own destinies, over this realm. And I say realm because that's known and unknown. But we certainly get to decide what happens to us. and how it happens and if it happens. We get to determine that we can no longer participate or be available. And that's one of the frequencies of any artificial mechanisms. I don't care what they devise. It doesn't matter. Divinity rules. Why? Because it created everything. Anything that can be devised, it comes from creation. And we the legacy holders of creation. You can't outthink the creator, even in its slower form. And when we take on the full authority and not in some supremacy thing walking around, because what's the supremacy mean? Right? That somebody else got to be underneath your thumb. That's what the program says. That ain't what divinity says. Divinity says you just act like what you are. You just be what you are. A tree is a tree. It does tree shit. I say this all the time. The creator, the most high, infinite being, cosmic beings, divine beings, multidimensional beings do multidimensional being shit. And they have the full authority, priority, and seniority to determine how they divinely operate on this planet, in the universe, in the cosmos. The jig is up. So anybody, while we was asleep and people, places, and things were creating programs, putting shit in our food, in the water, in the air, and everything. And they still doing it. Right? When we say, you know what, we just gonna exercise all this stuff. We're not gonna keep sitting here trying to be on guard and be reactive to everything that somebody is trying to develop, including nanomites. I say this all the time. We got divinonites. We got something for your nanos. Right? You keep messing with us, we're going to follow you back to the computer you came from. And fuck all that shit up. So if I was you, right? Get to the point where they can't, we nano resistant. Right? I said this before, and I probably said it before. I don't know if I was on this frequency or another. That if you, and some people, you know, and I heard there was some people in the chat who confirmed it. You ever blown your nose and looked and saw these little dots in it? I think those are dead nanos. Right? Because we said no. We are immune to all artificial mechanisms. You don't get no authority and no seniority and no priority in the body. I don't care if I'm drinking it because you done put dampeners in the water or on an organic food and fruit. It becomes us once we take it in. We're not giving it authority to do whatever it wants to. If it is not what it says it is, then it takes on our frequency. If I think I'm eating some organic, lettuce or, whatever, arugula, that's what I do. I do arugula, right? And it's laced with something, then that means I get to do what I want. That means I can exercise it. Because you lied. I don't give you no authority because you lied. We do not give authority and priority in the body, in the mind, in the emotions, in the thought forms, in and around us, to take a priority position against our own natural consciousness. You don't get the priority, not no more. That's over. That's gone. That's done. We know too much now. And we're not operating from a deficit. Even if we have experienced deficit, lack, danger, fear, war, what am I going to say? We're not limited to it. So guess what? We on this frequency right now. We the legacy holders. We got the juice now, Q, right? We're the legacy holders of our family, and we authorize because we have the authority as divine beings on earth to say, get behind me, nanomites, get behind me, GMOs, get behind me, what are them, RMA, whatever y'all got. Matter of fact, don't even get behind me. Carry your ass somewhere before I really start thinking about what I'm gonna do with you. And you can't go do it to nobody else either. How about that? You're gonna have to just operate this shit in a mirror dimension where you can do all your diabolical shit and it ain't affecting nobody. Because we on another mission. We got something else to do. We don't have time to sit here and be fucking with y'all. Trying to soak up people's consciousness, trying to, be number one in somebody else's life. Like what? Who does that? We're done. There are other things we can do on this planet. As a matter of fact, there's so many things. There's so many things we can do with our bodies that we haven't even explored. We think that, these things that are awakening with us these are supernatural things. They are not. They are very natural. They might not be normal, but they natural. Like I said, forget the normals, the standards. Those are families. Right? So natural, divinely natural, divinely given specialties that we operate in so that we can do what we came to, so we can finish the creation, the exploration of the natural wonders of being in a dimension that you can feel. You can feel joy. You can feel love. You can feel discernment in this realm. This is an exciting place. That's we gonna make it. What they say? What's the thing? Make America great again. Make the third dimension fun again. Stop calling it what do they call it? Garbage planning and a shit dimension, like all that stuff. Yet we're all here, so that might be an impeding thought. We have the authority. We are the legacy holders. Change your mind about what you think about yourself and everyone else. Now, here's the thing. It says, exorcism of all unnatural causes of dis-ease and traumas. The first unnatural cause is being at war. Conflict consciousness. Well, that's one of them. I ain't gonna say it's the first one. I don't know the order, but that's something that is one of them. And in order to exercise that, it's not about going and finding the dementor that's been putting thought forms in your space. Right? You want to make your space where you create the thought forms are coming from you. You take your atmosphere with you. I say this all the time. Your atmosphere is your atmosphere all the time. So a dementor can't put shit up in there, right? Because it ain't nowhere to put it. There's no room, it's no space. Because there is no authority given. You know, I like in the Matrix, the when the train conductor, when Neo, I think that was the third one, Neo was down in the train, and the conductor was like, you know, your stuff don't work down here. Down here, I'm God. Right? That's it. That's it. So it's not about finding, like I said, it's not always about finding, well, what demon, what dementor, what reptilian. I'm not saying those things don't exist. What I'm saying is we don't even have to be available. They don't have no space and no room to do nothing around one of us. We naturally exercise these unnatural causes of disease, including the bacterias, including the viruses and parasites. Right? When we had Doctah B Sirius on here, I was talking about some of the dreams I had when I was doing his cleanse. I had 3 parasite dreams, and I exercised them in my dream. I said, "Oh no, we not." Right? This is a daily practice. Determining that these things cannot operate around you or your family or anybody else. One of the things that we talked about, or that we mentioned before we did the melanated mother code activation, is the authority that we have to say what can and cannot happen on this planet. And I know it seems like we don't, but it's only one way to find out, right? And ain't no marching, ain't no protests. It's a frequency, not a fight. Let's see. Let's take this for a 260 spin. Let's take it through a birthing cycle and see what happens. And then we might do another one and another one. Just like we've been doing with this melanin frequency. Right? It's not just one big march and then that's it. There are those who want all of this people to think about things a certain way, or that they want to control the minds. They are on this 24/7 and been on it, right? Since the early 1900s, 1800s, they've been doing these experiments. So if we think that just doing a melanin frequency for 8 years is going to change everything on the planet, I don't know about that. But I know if we become dedicated and loyal to it, and I've seen the experiment, I'm not talking a philosophy, I've seen it happen in my own life. Right? Talking to my cells. Right? For the most part, I don't get sick. Like I said, I've had my daughter when she was little. Well, she always, every time she goes to a school or whatever, every year since she's been going to school, she gets sick. And when she was little, you know how you have to pick them up and you hold them. She dang near coughed right in my mouth. I didn't get sick. Everybody else in the house got sick. Why? Because probably at least for, how old was she? Let's say she was 5, probably 5 years before that, I had my brain balanced and locked, and I started talking to my cells back then. So I know it works. I know it works on mental things as well. I always tell people I do not operate in the same space at the same time with so-called police or people who want to run up on you and whatever. So what if we have that? And I'm not saying I'm the only person, right? I'm just saying it out loud, right? But what if we have that and we are now able to take that with our authority and send it out as a frequency so that it covers those who are still working on it or may not have complete or consistent results, right? And we strengthen each other. That's an act of unity. Maybe I have that and somebody else has something else. Right. And then the next person has something else. And then the next person has something else. And then the next one and the next one. Right. And then we form this chain of legacy holders of our families where we authorize all of us, not one of us, all of us. Authorize the exorcism of all unnatural causes of dis-ease and traumas. Those things that you've been holding on because this happened to you, it's strengthened when you have a whole community, common unity together. You may not be able to get it out of your mind by yourself. Right? But when we all come together with our strengths, we can determine this for the whole planet. Because then now we create the thought forms that automatically make us immune to these unnatural causes of dis-ease. Yeah, I'm talking about, like I said, the invisible ones. The ones that operate in the fourth dimensions. Those things that go bump in the night, hold you down at night, or show up in your dream space. If we all form and say, no, you know what? We don't need to have that for anybody. Not our children, not our women, not our men, but nobody. Because we want something different in this realm now. We want to, and not that we have the authority. I ain't gonna say we want to, right? Change my words, change my war language. We have the authority to determine how we operate on this planet with each other, what thought forms are in the air, which ones are dominant. See, what's dominant is war right now. What's dominant is fear. Everything is against you. What's dominant is controversy and conflict. Somebody did something they meant to do it. There's a diabolical decision behind somebody saying something to you the wrong way. Right? And I got my hand raised. I self-check. I ain't checking nobody before I check myself. Before it come out my mouth, I'm looking at me first. Ooh, that's how you be doing it. That's an exorcism too. Because some of that stuff is coming from you. Right? We have to exercise it within ourselves. And I love the way that this word exorcism and exercise, right? They sound very similar. You have to exercise being an observer of your own behavior and where it comes from. Believe me, it's unnatural. Because when Divine beings don't think like that because they already know they have authority. They know what their authority is. That's like a tree not knowing that it can grow a leaf, right? Afraid that it can't have no bark, it can't have no roots. You see how crazy it sounds when we're talking about a tree? It's the same thing with us. It's crazy to think that us being in the species that we are of the Creator from Source, that we do not have the authority over our own destinies. That we have to beg and plead ancestors and deities and divinities. Yep, I know. Sacrilegious, heretic, blasphemer. That we have to beg and plead to be that. When we literally are that. We just forgot. Right? So what happens when we stand in our authority and authorize our own exorcism of these thought forms that we carry, that we give way to in our bodies, in our minds, right? In the way that we calculate things. We have to be so dedicated to being in our true formation that we will allow those things to dissolve within us. That we're not going to be tripping no more on, this thing or, this or people, places and things. What I recommend, we have our acts of unity, man, and I see the chat is quiet. Okay, is this thing on? Okay, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, right? What I would say is if we can just choose one thing, right, that we're going to, because trying to do all of them might become overwhelming, and then we might give up because we want a result. Choose one thing, right? Decide that I don't care what kind of parasite it is, that you don't have no authority in the body. It's been revoked. Never. No bacteria. I don't care if they put it in water. I don't care if they spray it as an aerosol or stick it in you intravenously. You do not give way. These bodies are immortal and they are sacred. These are the formations of the Most High. Determine that. It will lead you to where you need, if you need to do parasite cleanses, if you need to eat something different, if you need to stand on your head, whatever it is, right? I'm not saying use the mind only. In addition to, but it starts with that decision. Choose one thing. Choose something in your relationship. Choose something in your family that's causing the dis-ease. Dis-ease is not just a physical, you got high blood pressure, you got diabetes, you got cancer, whatever. That's not all it is. Dis-ease is what it says. Dis-ease. You're separated from ease. It could be in your mind. It could be the way you think about things. You can't move past something. Decide that, what, on this next 260 spin, we're about to go through one. I'm going to move past this one thing. It's not going to be a part of my existence anymore. That's an unnatural cause of disease. You're going to exercise it and exercise, right? Your dedication to it. right? So as we go through this mission and these exorcisms, right? It could even be that, like, some of us have had those dream spaces where we have unwanted guests, right? That can frequent our dreams the way they want to. Not, we say no more. No, we're not. Because you really do have the authority, but you have to exercise it and exercise it, right? And you gotta, what they say, the way out is in. You have to go through it. When I'm up here and I'm talking all this bad talk and cussing and, and telling all the entities where they can go and what they can do and being blasphemous and all of that stuff, right? I'm not just saying that for, to get, for people to be like, woo, High Priestess is saying some stuff. She on her gangster stuff. No, I really had to exercise it. Not once, not twice, not three times, not, you see what I'm saying? So until it becomes it's consistent enough for me to say that this is how I get down. I'm not just saying that because it sounds good and then be afraid to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, what's going to come at me? Not a thing. Not one thing. Because I mean what I say. And I've already had the experience over and over again. I've exercised it. This is why I speak with certainty and authority about it. Right? And so that's where it comes from. The confidence in your authority comes from the exercising of it. But the first step is making that decision. So let's come together in this act of unity, right? There are a few things here in the mission, and this is a page from the mission that talks about using, if you haven't already done so, you definitely want to do so. Grab Doctah B Sirius's Parasite Cleanse. And I'm telling you, it definitely does. He says that it deals with parasites on a systematic level or on a interdimensional parasites. Absolutely. I can tell you from experience, right? And there are others on here who've done that and they have experienced maybe not the same thing, but they can also vouch for that, right? So you want to try that. That's a ritual right there. You understand? So as you're going through it, and it's interesting, I wrote this before I actually went through the cleanse, right? But I can say that what I have here is exactly what happened while I was going through the cleanse. That cleanse, because it did get rid of those systematic parasites as well as interdimensional ones, there were some things that clicked in different for me. There were some behaviors that I had physically and mentally that I don't have them anymore. I don't want to. That's a ritual. And it's one that works. You can get results, right? So all rituals are not always, some things where you got to run around with some sage and water and some tree leaves and I'm saying, listen, I do all of that, right? So I'm not knocking it. I'm saying in addition to, right? A lot of time the ritual, I always say a lot of these things are mental and not spiritual anyway. Right? But while you're working on the mental, you also want to have something. Here's another one, right? That you can do to support the change. Like, you know, if you were listening and taking in what I was saying, right? And you say, oh well, I got something that I really, man, it's gonna be hard for me to do. I'm scared. I need some support. I need somebody to hold my hand, right? Like, that's okay. I love that. Right. So what you want to do is you can, you know, again, you can collaborate with your unity partners. You can also do candles, right? Burning candles are a great way. You want some courage, right? Or let's say like that particular thing, you're afraid and you want some courage, right? I would say, and you know, hope you write it down, right? I would say get 7-day candle. You want to get a black one, right? Let that burn all the way down and then get a green one for your courage. I would burn them separately and not together, right? You want to activate some things. Red, right? You get a red candle. That's that root chakra, right? As we know. No, you said, hey, this, whatever okay, here we go. Let me say this. We're talking about unnatural causes. So the first thing you want to do is a black candle, right? Black does not represent negative, as the world has told us. And I know most of us know this on here, but I'm just saying it out loud. Black is an absorber of all energies. Things that are so-called bad, or, you know, demons, devils, whatever, right? They don't want to have nothing to do with pure blackness, the triple blackness, right? Shadows hang around light. So when you do that triple blackness to remove the shadow and the light, the divinity stay divine. It don't matter, right? But the things that them shadows, they get absorbed. So that's why you want to use the black candle. So the black one absorbs. And then you back it up with the next thing you want to do, right? You want to activate something red, calming. You want calm, you want serenity, blue, courage, green, or pink, right? Emotional, orange, right? Those are just some things. Power, yellow. So that is in addition to, not in place of. Change your mind first. That's the first thing you do. That's only a temporary fix if you don't really change your mind. Change your mind first. That you are the legacy holder of your family, and you authorize the exorcism of all natural causes of disease and trauma. So you might want to speak that over the candle and mean it when you say it. And keep meaning it, keep saying it, and then burn your candles. Right? Okay. And so here's another ritual here in the heart center, right? And you know, you can read all of this, or if I do recommend that you get the journal. You know, I'm always getting something different than what's in the journal, but that's a way to go about this as well, right? So with that, all right, I am going to bring back to the stage Sister Yah, Kim 141, and she is going to take us through the reflections. Love y'all. It definitely has been my honor and my pleasure. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Hotep.
Wow, such a powerful, powerful session, y'all. The chat is open. There is a link there for anyone who has reflections, and I'm gonna make sure I wait to share mine because it was so much going on in my heart space that entire conversation, Ashe. So if anybody feels the need, anything in your heart you want to let out, anything you have to say, any insights you got and you want to share, please come on up. Ashe, yes, I definitely I went over to the website actually. It's his website is elevationtime.com. And I was literally just on there looking looking at the different packages for the parasite cleanse. But I'm gonna put it in the chat. But it's elevationtime.com. All right. So I'm gonna mute and give thank you so much, Priestess Habibula, for putting that in the chat for us. And if anyone wants to come on in, we are here for your reflections. Give thanks. Where y'all at? Anybody coming up here? Okay, well, I'll count down for us. I guess I give about 5 more seconds and then I'm gonna go through mine. You know, it might be a little long. I wanted everybody else to go first. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, it's all on me. All right, so this was powerful. I'm gonna go through both because I wasn't here for the Melanin Frequency 47. I'm gonna be brief though because it flows right in to all of that. But the sacred unions, man, when she went through and she was talking about like her relationships and all those things, I was like, oh yeah, we got a lot in common. You know, I've been with my husband for 10 years, married, and 13, you know, in a relationship, and we've known each other since we've been 16. And I just had a reading with High Priestess, and it was really more of a confirmation because, you know, when you start to learn about the cosmology and you see things, but through our problems we were having, I was like, oh, let me start to look at some things. Because I was, you know, just really trying to make some decisions and trying to figure out what in the world was going on. But when I looked, everything like linked up, like, you know, like all of our transformation years, everything, you know, he's the red spectral earth, I'm the red spectral dragon. We were born in the same year, just a few months apart, and like our whole life like link up. And then I just had a dream yester strength of what, how you guys say yester plasma, but we actually even have the same birthmark on our right leg. And I was thinking about that too, and just how everything kind of linked up when I was pregnant with my daughter in 2012. When I went into labor, he went into the hospital, not even knowing that I was pregnant. We had stopped talking, you know, just kind of lost contact as being childhood friends. And I felt it, you know, he had got real sick and went to the hospital. You know, I've had dreams and stuff about our children that are coming in the future, and just like my support through transformation and supported by, you know, his mother, which is that matriarchal energy. And I've had his grandmother come to me and, you know, asked for one of the children to be named after her, and just certain things. And it's like, wow, you know, because I really didn't understand what was happening until things started to flow, and just the sacredness of everything, you know. And even moving along to this current active unity, like, you know, with the parasites. And I was literally like, I did a parasite cleanse last fall, and I'm going to try to continue that ritual of, you know, doing my parasite cleanses. But I am definitely going to get the Doctah B package and do his. I had got some teas from the Goddess collection last spin, and so this spin I'm gonna do his and see how that goes. And it is very powerful. You know, the first thing that I experienced when I did the parasite cleanse was like that clarity that just kind of came through. And then just watching, you know, my evolution through this last spin as we approach this next one, even the last year, it's like, oh my God, like I don't even recognize myself for real from who I was last year to who I've evolved into on purpose, in purpose, this year, and so it's not going to stop. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep flowing and give thanks for spaces like this and all these beautiful people who, we come together and support each other, inspire each other and all of that. And so, I was thinking, after we did that womb activation, that mother code activation, I was hot. We were in Baltimore. We were headed to the museum, and just a lot of our history and just certain things when it comes to, like, the trauma that we experience as a collective, the indoctrinations and just a lot of misconceptions that are spread around. And as the truth starts to surface for us, and we come together and remember what's really going on, like, it was just like a whole different perspective for me, going through, talking about the Middle Passage and slavery and whatnot. And so as I'm listening to the brother speak and he's telling us these stories and whatnot, for me, it was hard because my consciousness has shifted so much that it's like, I understand it's important to have these conversations, but it's kind of hard because a lot of people have been told things that are just not accurate, and it's kind of hard to get them to not change their minds, but look at things from a different perspective. But I just wanted to, because he was, well versed and he was our guide, I just wanted to see, like, if he knew about any of these slave ships that were supposed to have come through the Middle Passage while we're at the museum. Are there any of these slave ships that have names? Do we know anything about the slave ships? And he was like, oh, well, there's documents. I said, okay, but there's documents. Okay, but are there any ships? Does this ship we getting ready to go through and hear about, does this ship have a name? Is there's a museum that holds this ship that we can go view? And then one of the sisters said, oh, they found a ship last month. Last month? I said, okay, it wasn't about arguing it. It wasn't about being a disagreement. It's just that, just looking at things from a different lens, and hoping that seed gets planted and, we can start to heal in a more divine, not that it's any less divine, but just collectively going to the same space and making sure that we all get there, Ashe. And so I make sure that I got my Moldavite as I go through transformation. I got my stones and my candles and my altar and all these other things to make sure that as I make sure I command my authority for what goes on around me, with my family, with my loved ones, in my community. I just make sure that I do the best I can to stay aligned. And so, yeah, I was really like feeling this conversation. I was all in my heart space, like this whole conversation, just kind of feeling the vibe. But I give thanks, and I don't know if anybody else has any shares or not. But we are gonna move along. I'm gonna get ready to change the slide. Nope, I don't think nobody's coming up. I don't see anyone. All right, I'm gonna move us to the next slide. And so, all right. So we are gonna get ready to close out. But before we do that, we are going to chant. And so this is our opportunity to collectively seal in the frequencies and transmission of visual number 48. We are one, and through our unified focus, we amplify our intentions. We will energize the symbol, sigil, and strengthen our unity. We are aligned, mind, heart, purpose, and presence. We live in harmony with purpose and power. We fulfill this mission as one. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. All right. Again, we are currently in the year of divine unity, where we embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. Ashe. frequency wave number 48. As the legacy holders of our families, we authorize the exorcism of all unnatural causes of disease and traumas. As the legacy holders of our families, we authorize the exorcism of all unnatural causes of disease and traumas. As the legacy holders of our families, we authorize the exorcism of all unnatural causes of disease and traumas. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. You all have a magical evening, people. Peace and love.
We are spreading the word about an energy vigil dedicated to the betterment of melanin-dominant people worldwide. It is called Melanin Emerging Collective Consciousness Alignment. As you know, there are groups across the world that pray and meditate for global peace and love. Though this has benefited the world, it is obvious that more is needed to dissolve the systematic and individual oppression of melanin-dominant people worldwide. Our collective is transmitting frequencies right now. Each week, a different melanin-dominant group is accountable for generating and holding the frequency. We began transmitting on Fall Equinox 2019. To find out more or get involved in this movement, check out our website at www.melaninfrequency.org.